today's subject,
Yes.
and what we're doing is that we started talking about how we're going to train, getting ready for the mace competitions.
Absolutely.
Now, what I wanted to address with me is, believe it or not, I have a problem with a little bit of thoracic mobility.
Yeah.
And I knew this was a problem, so I came to Lyonel, who helps me do a lot of stuff with my mobility. And he showed me a couple of cool exercises to do today. And one of the good points is that for this particular one, you don't have to get another piece of equipment.
That's true. Because all of you out there that actually have a mace in hand, you can actually use this for what we're going to do. This is something that I've taken from, I'm a stick mobility certified coach. So I do a lot of stuff with that, with helping people improve the way that they move. Also do a lot of other things, with functional patterns and, other methodologies that are really, really great at helping people improve their movements. And what's unique with this is that this is something that I've taken from there that I can actually use a mace with to be able to help you improve your overall mobility in your thoracic region. So I'm going to have Donnie demonstrate a little bit as we go through this. So I'm going to have him put him through some of the movements just so you guys can get a visual of this. And then I'm going to show you guys a little bit more of what, and we see where he's at and how everything is. And then we'll kind of take it from there. So you guys have questions, absolutely we'll entertain them and help you understand what to do and how to do with it. But this is really, really simple. If you have an Adex club, go ahead and load it either with just the base itself or the base and the, part. Either one of them will be okay. And this will be more than sufficient to be able to help you do what we're going to need to do.
Yeah, right. And like Lyonel's saying, this is from stick mobility. We're going to do a really cool cutaway like right now. So, here's something that I learned today that really opened my eyes about my mobility and my thoracic, and Lyonel showed me how. So what do you want me to do first, buddy?
Okay. Well, so what we're going to do today, we're going to go ahead and use this thing. Go ahead and grab your mace. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put it in behind you, and we're going to actually load it up in between. There you go, right there.
You're doing
right underneath,
like
right?
the rear cradle type of thing.
Exactly. So now, while you're here, what I want you to do is I want you to step up a little bit just so I can actually see what you're doing very specifically. What I want you to do while you're here now is very important. I want to make sure that when you're standing, you have your feet directly underneath your hips. Okay? While you're there now, I want you to go ahead and keep your torso upright. I want you to break at the knees slightly. Okay? Now, once you break at the knees, go ahead a little bit more. Good. From there, I want you to go ahead and keep your stomach squeezed. As you're doing this, I want you to go ahead and tilt your pelvis forward and squeeze your butt. Now hold that position while you're there. Make sure you're breathing while you're doing this, because if you don't breathe, this is gonna suck.
It's gonna suck.
Okay? All right, so while you're here now, what I'd like you to do is I want you to go ahead and keep your hands right on top, so we can make sure that you're actually moving correctly. I want you to keep your eyes directly ahead of you, keep your hips squared directly forward, and I want you to rotate from your trunk only, just the torso. I want you to rotate towards the left. Okay, ready? Go. Keep your head straight. Keep your trunk straight, keep your hip straight. Go ahead and reset that hip because you're actually pushing that back. So reset and let's try it again. Reset and let's try it again. Okay, keep that hip square, squeeze your butt. Okay, now rotate again. Go for it. Okay. Good. Get to your end range right there. Do not. So make sure that we counter rotate that hip, counter rotate that hip, counter rotate the hip on the right.
And that's as far as I can go, folks.
All right. Now reset back to center. Now let's go ahead and squeeze again. We're going to go over to the right. Go ahead and do the same thing to the right side. Keep your head straight. Don't turn your head. Don't turn your hips either. So let's go ahead and push that hip back. There you go. Square that hip again. All right. Let's try it one more time. Okay. Good. Right there. Right there. You can't go any further. Right there. Okay. So what you want to do when you're doing this, go ahead and relax for a little bit. While you're doing this, what you want to do is you want to get to your end range and stay there. While you're there, you want to make sure that you're breathing. You don't want to force it. You want to take nice deep breath, and for every deep breath as you're exhaling, you want to try to just push it just a little bit longer. Ideally, you want to be able to hold any one of these positions for anywhere from 10 to 15 seconds. If you can go longer, fantastic. But that's a really good range for you to be able to start with and be able to see what it is that you can do. Okay? Let's go ahead and go back up. Well,
I was going to say, why don't you demonstrate how it looks to show them. I'm going to show you what it looks like with somebody that has good spine mobility, thoracic and lumbar mobility, and And this is all connected together now, like Lyonel is saying.
So same thing here.
Starting straight.
Okay. So break out the hips right here, break out the knees, go ahead and tilt underneath. Now I'm gonna go ahead and move to the left. Okay, just simply gonna rotate my torso. I'm not turning anything else. Head is straight, hips are straight, they're not going anywhere. Deep breath, exhale, push out a little bit more. Good, coming back to center, do the same thing on the opposite side. Keeping squared. All right, and bringing it back. So, you want to be able to really get to be able to expand the chest. That really helps open up your mobility there. And this is going to, turn to all kinds of other things. While we're moving the mace overhead, while we're moving it in all kinds of other directions, this is going to really make an impact. If you use other type of implements while you train, like barbells or dumbbells or kettlebells, this will also improve your range of motion with everything that you do there. What you'll find is that some exercises that you may have struggled with, if you make this a part of your routine and you really help open up your region, those exercises will become really easy for you because your range of motion will improve drastically from doing that. Go ahead.
I was going to say, this is where you might think that you're doing stuff well, like I did, okay? And then I studied, and like, you got to every now and then take yourself out of athlete mode, especially if you're coaching. I'm going to talk to a select group of people, especially if you're coaching, or the people who train at home by themselves.
Right.
You got to take yourself out of the athlete mode, and you got to humble yourself, and you got to walk through the front door of somebody else's place and say, hey, I need a little help with this, because everybody needs a little help.
Yes.
And this is very important. I mean, I'm planning to come in and swing down here, for the competition, and I want to put up some numbers, and I'm not going to be able to do it when I'm getting to where I'm maxing out safely.
Right.
So that's in my mind, to be able to prepare to have a safe competition along with the strong competition.
Absolutely.
And that's why I came to talk to Lyonel about this.
Absolutely. And it's funny because, as an athlete, right, especially if you've been doing this for a while, if you've trained for any number of years with whatever modality that you use, you become accustomed to doing certain things a certain way. You become very good at doing it that particular way. Does it mean that it's good or bad? Not necessarily. It just means that you're just good at it that way. But what you start realizing is if you're willing to take yourself out of your environment and step in somewhere else and start looking at other ways of moving the same thing that you do, you'll find that there are things that you can do that can drastically improve your current performance with what it is that you do. And this is what me taking different courses and learning all these other things have done for me. Implementing the mace and the clubs into my training has been one of the most beneficial that I did 4 or 5 years ago, because it's really changed everything as far as what I do. It's forced me to start looking at movement in a completely different way than I was before. And because of that, I've ventured onto other avenues of movement that have really taken it to a different level. So I totally recommend, using these tools, not just the way they were meant, but really finding out how to make them make you better at other things that you do. And this is just one of those little things.
This is just a start. This is this is your gateway, that exercise right there.
Yeah.
Well, so you get it in that reverse hook position with your arms and rotate.
Yeah.
And it's simple, but look at the points again that Lyonel pointed out. Watch again. In the video, you got the ability to rewind it. There's a freaking rewind button right there. All right, use the rewind button.
Yeah.
Go back to there, look at it again, and watch where he's correcting me. Now, of course, we over-exaggerated some of the stuff so he could point out where the stuff is, and then he did it where it was good, where I didn't have to say anything. And that's what you want to try to get to. You want to try to keep the head facing forward, the hips facing forward, and then get the body over, get the torso to rotate.
Correct.
And that's where it's going to work all its magic.
Absolutely. And the thing about this movement, there's more to it than just that. There's also a couple of other, variances of this where, when we're moving, the next step of it will be actually moving the torso and the hips simultaneously while keeping the head facing in that same direction. That sounds simple enough, but it's actually probably the most difficult part of the exercise is to be able to do that. Because what you start realizing is that for most of us, the mobility of our head is actually extremely limited. We don't have a whole lot of range of motion in our necks. We think we do, but the reality is for most of us, it's really, really severely limited. Which means that when you're doing certain movements, it's gonna make it very difficult for you to be able to hit the positions that you wanna hit and be as strong as you wanna hit, as strong as you'd like to be in those positions because, again, lack of mobility in the neck area. You may not think, well, I'm not using my neck when I'm doing those things. True, not the neck directly, but everything attached to it is also gonna have an impact on how you move and how well you position. So it's important to be able to do that. So once you do it that way, then the last version of this is actually turning everything in the same direction. Your hips, your torso, and your neck all facing the same direction to be able to really truly improve your range of motion. You should be able to get more than a 180-degree turn in what you're doing. That's really should be what you should be capable of. But you know, not everybody can actually do that.
Well, by the competition time, I'm going to have that 180-degree turn, and I'm going to keep my hips square.
Yeah, so it's definitely a great tool to use and a great exercise to do because it really like translates to pretty much anything and everything else that you do. Listen, when you start working on opening up your thoracic region, that allows your body now to be able to start making your shoulders work independently in the way that they should. And allows you to get the mobility in your shoulders so that you can bring your hands overhead the way you need to. And you can actually swing the way that you need to without really hurting yourself, without putting yourself in danger. So it's super, super important to be able to do that. And also opening that up also helps with the lower part now. Because really truly gets the hips involved the right way and allows you to be able to develop strength independently in your lower body. You know?
And that's very, like you said, that's very important. And also what a lot of people don't realize is when you're training with your mace and you're doing 360s and 10 to 2s, mostly everybody feels their triceps fried when they're
right.
Triceps, if you're doing them bad, your elbows are going to get hot.
Yep.
But it's usually around the tricep area until you go home and take a shower and go like this. And then you go, what did I do to my armpit?
Right.
You know? So now you got this soreness in here. Now you've been swinging a mace for 2, 3, 5, you know, since 2007, whenever you started swinging a mace, and you've got all these this tight lat going in. With these types of stretches, you know, like where you're working, it's passively working
Correct.
the whole body, and you're getting that nice stretch in there. It's going to start going up into the lat, and you're going to get a little bit more comfort in that area. I'm not going to say you're going to get more mobility in the beginning, but it's not going to feel as tight and bound up.
Correct. And what you find is the more you do this and the better you get at it, the looser you get, so to speak, and you really start using your muscles the way they were intended to be used without actually overworking any one in particular. So
yeah,
that's the best part of this.
And that's important, you know, because you want to be efficient when you're training.
Absolutely.
Because, you know, hey, keep some of that food to repair the muscles. Don't
That's
you
right.
know, don't use it all for your
That's
your workout
That's
or your
right.
competition. So, with that being said, what else do you want to add to this today?
Man, there's a lot of other things that we can add to this, but you know, when it comes to mobility and mobility work, right, you can use your mace in several different ways. You know, this was just one exercise that I was showing you to do the upper part of your body, but using the mace as a way to help you with your lower body and improve mobility there is something fantastic that we can do as well. You know, there's a few different things that we can actually show you that can help you improve, you know, what we're doing there. So this is one way basically where you can actually work on stretching. And, you know, the word stretching and the motion of that is something that I'm not a big fan of teaching people how to stretch per se, because most people will end up doing something wrong and can inadvertently hurt themselves in trying to help themselves. What I am a big fan of, though, is teaching people how to actively get their muscles working to get in the ranges that they want to do. So I'm going to show you a couple of different things that you can do. Super simple, that we're in this position using the mace to help you with this, okay? So as I'm starting here, I'm going to go ahead and bring my leg out in front of me, just like this, while the mace is right here, okay? And all I'm going to do is lift my toes, okay? While I'm here, sitting on my knees, and I'm simply going to go ahead and hold on to the mace here, and I'm going to pull, literally push my hips back and try to sit back on my heel behind me. In doing so, I am activating everything from my posterior chain all the way down to my heels, okay? Working on that stretch. Using that, Now, in just turning just slightly, I'm also activating the adductors and working the heck out of those in that position. All right, going back up, okay, relax for a little bit, and then turn around and do the same thing again. Now, switching sides, the same thing on the other side. Right here, simple, heel up, heel down, toes up, go ahead and pull back. Push the hip back and try to sit back on that heel behind me. In doing so, again, the entire stretch from my Achilles heel all the way up through the entire posterior chain. Pretty simple, pretty basic movement, but can do a great job in terms of helping you improve, the area back there, okay? You have a question, Donnie? No comments?
No.
He's just playing around.
I'm just being
around with the knobs, right?
Man. No, that was good stuff. I was going to cut in on that. That was gold right there, brother.
Okay, so simple little movement that can actually make a huge difference in how you feel with this. There again, a whole lot of different things that we can do. I don't want to overload you guys per se with different things, but trying these two things right now can really make a difference in how you feel overall. Okay, this is a stretch that's not just for the hamstring, but that's for literally the entire posterior chain from your heel to your butt. If you do it correctly, you'll also feel your adductors in the process of doing that as well, so fantastic for that. And then using that with the thoracic mobility one, those two things should definitely help you start feeling better in your movements and in everything that you do. Cool?
Yeah, we'll keep going though. We'll talk a little bit more. We're going to tell them about their adductors right here. So let's crank this up.
All right. Crank it up.
Crank it up, crank it up.
All right.
One of the important things about stretching your adductors, everybody, that's the muscles of the inside, small muscles that are inside your groin, all right? Basically, people say they pull the groin muscle, it's in here, and it adds to your body. That's why anything that pulls your limbs into your body is an adductor. When you see little old men, and I'm talking old men, in their 90s, not old men like us, old men, okay? And they're walking like this, that's because their adductors are all frozen up.
Yeah.
And that's because they didn't stretch in their lifetime, and unfortunately, with higher testosterone that men have, it's usually a problem with maintaining flexibility.
Sure.
Don't think because you're inflexible that you have a high testosterone level.
That's definitely
if you're over 40, get it freaking checked and get your thyroid checked. But
it's a whole other issue, right?
Get a colonoscopy while you're at it.
Yeah.
But get all those things, because we want to see you guys out there on the platform swinging a mace, swinging a club, and doing these fun things. Plus, you guys can stay around longer to see me get tortured by him. So, because there's going to be a whole series of these.
Right, yeah, because we're going to start doing stuff where we're actually putting Donnie through some exercises and through some movements. And it's definitely interesting, because again, before we got to start filming, we went through a few things, and he got to experience some stuff he never expected to experience before. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, we'll show that. We'll show that in another edition. You guys can request that I get tortured. I'm not going to say that I'm going to, willingly volunteer for this, but
if enough requests come in, he'll have to volunteer for it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And ask us questions. Send questions to us, about training. We'll answer them as best as we can. If we don't have the answer, and we've already decided,
find it.
We will find the answer or find the person that has the answer. We got no problem citing other people.
None at all.
And giving them credit. You see, we saw stick mobility.
Yep.
All right. Cutaway. All right. And now we're back and from the cutaway. and I'm gonna tell you that this is good stuff here. But we're gonna try to hopefully get you guys to ask us questions about your Mason Club training, about integrating it with other training or integrating other training into your Mason Club training.
Correct.
So as you can see, like I'm stepping over into the dark side touching other pieces of gear right now.
Yes, and that's important, guys. I mean, listen, I love club and mace training. I love still probably more so than anything else that I do. But what I've also come to realize is that as much as I love using these implements by themselves, there are other tools that are just as beneficial for my body as these can be. So instead of just pigeonholing myself into one area and just staying there and saying, that's it, I don't want to do anything else, I've learned how to adapt and take some of the others and implement it to me to make me a better all-around person. Better all-around athlete, if you want to say so, but I'm not planning on competing in anything anytime soon, except for maybe some mace competition.
February 8th.
You know, in February 8th, right? Except for that, you know, but don't tell anybody, because you know that's on the download. That's a secret. Nobody knows that I'm actually going to compete or anything.
We're not telling anybody, but we're actually going to pork up to being close to that 210-pound class.
Yeah, so he's gonna do that, okay? I'm not, because yeah, that would be a miracle. If I porked up, that'd literally be that. That would be me porking up. I would come in that 210-pound class. Come on, man, are you kidding me? I'm nowhere near that.
I haven't had an Oreo in about 26 years.
You know, I mean, do you have any idea of how much crap I would have to eat, man, to be able to put that much on?
Oreos and milk?
I'll put Oreos and milk, huh?
That's it.
Just Oreos and milk. That's it. Oreos and milk. That's, sheesh. I'd have to eat like 20 bags a day or 30 bags a day.
You put on like a bunch of videos from somebody else, and other mace trainers. You sit down and watch 6 hours of flow, Oreos and milk.
Oh yeah, okay, no, not doing that. I'd rather stay, you know, right here, sub 210, you know, or sub 1, whatever. You know.
Sub 200, we're sub 200.
Yeah, definitely sub 200, and I'll stay there gladly.
But I did, all seriousness though, right now, seriously, there gets to be a certain point in your mace training where you're trying to get that weight.
Right.
And you don't have enough weight to keep yourself on the ground.
Right. No, we get that. That's kind of what we're experiencing, you know.
So yeah, that's when we're coming into like when it's harder to keep yourself on the ground and stable than it is to swing what you're swinging. You know, the weight that you're swinging.
Yeah.
That gets to be a pain in the
neck. Yeah, it does. That's a whole different problem to have.
So
you know?
that's why.
We're fortunate to have experienced that, where I'm literally swinging the mace and I'm like, holy crap, this thing is pulling me with it everywhere it goes, and there's nothing I can do to keep it down because I'm stable and grounded and I'm swinging well, but this thing is I mean, the amount of torque that it generates just takes me off the ground, and I don't have enough weight to hold me down. I probably have to wear maybe 3 or 4 weight vests, you know, to put enough weight on me to be able to actually keep me in place. But then that restricts my movement. I've tried it. I've already tried it.
Ski boots.
I've already, I didn't try the ski boots part, yeah. Hey man, that's like stationary on the platform, can't move, right? Yeah. Ski boots on the platform, that's another thing.
So that's what we're trying to figure out is how, when you get to that point.
Yeah, how can you actually do more and go heavier without actually putting on more size?
Without the weight throwing you around.
You know, without literally getting thrown around. And that's something that we still haven't figured out yet, but we're working on it. And as we figure it out, we'll be letting you guys know, right? If there's a way for me to be able to swing, like, listen, I know what my max is. I get past 55, I can't, you know, I'm getting pulled everywhere. I mean, at 50, I'm barely holding on to the floor, right?
It's 45 for me.
Yeah, at 50, I mean, I swung at 50, man, and it's like, okay, I actually have to stop every swing. So I can't go in continuous rotations with a 50-pounder.
If you get like 3 or 4, the 5th and
6th, yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm getting pulled, so I know that. But I've already tried, and at 55, it doesn't matter whether it's 1, half of 1, or whatever. I'm getting pulled the moment I start swinging. So that's my limit.
There is something to be said for having a little bit of ass in the game.
Yeah, some people's got us beat because they have a distinct advantage on us, so they can go to 70, 80, and more, and you know, we can just watch them in awe because there's no way we could actually lift that, you know. And of course, he's over here making faces, right?
Well, yeah, because I think it's funny. So.
Exactly. So, you know, it's just one day, eventually, we'll get there. Maybe not there, but you know, to whatever our limit is.
Where our there is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. But anyway, February 8th, right here at LyonStrong Gym, Miami. Listen, 3/4 of the country is going to be frozen.
Yep.
Miami's nice and warm in February. I gotta
Very
say,
warm.
we get like, sometimes we get a month of cold weather where it's.
By cold
it's in
weather,
the
he
30s.
means it's around 75, okay? That's what it means.
No. Sometimes we get 30s and 40s for a few weeks.
No, not during the day. We're talking in the middle of the night when everybody's asleep, man.
All right.
You know, come on. We don't get 30s and 40s during the day. 75 during the day, that's cold for us. It's winter.
So when the rest of the country is frozen, come to Miami to
Yep.
go out, compete in the Mace competition right here at LyonStrong.
Yep.
Right here.
Right here. You'll actually be on the stage, on the platform, right here.
And there's a pizzeria.
Right here. Down the street.
It's 4 minutes
Literally.
walking.
Yep, not even. So the pizzeria is exactly 350 meters from this location.
That's perfect.
So, you know,
So you could trash yourself, do every single event of the competition, and still walk down there and pound a pie.
that's right.
So that's what we're looking for.
So we want to make sure that you come in, get a chance to experience this, and go earn your pizza.
That's right. And also too, don't forget to check out all these people now. Check out Kip's online training, Vintage Strength online training, Leo Savage,
With
Rick
Steel Mace
Brown,
Flow.
Steel
Absolutely.
Mace Flow. We got Rick Brown has been all over the place. Check him out. Check out Eric Mellon,
With Viking Ninja.
the Steel Mace Warrior podcast, the
Yes.
Steel Mace Nation podcast.
Yes.
We've got, is a guy's name now, I can't remember him. I'm
Zach?
trying to get, no, there's a bunch of stuff out there for you guys to learn Mason Club swinging and
Absolutely.
training from. You can find these people are out in the forefront. New Breed Mace Bells, they're out there. Matt Burberry,
Right.
upstate New York.
With Set for Set.
Set for Set is out there. Look, On It stuff.
On It stuff,
Listen,
you know.
I'm a manufacturer. You guys know my gear. Use somebody's stuff. I like it better if you're using mine, but use somebody's stuff. Get into this. This is fun.
Yeah.
This is something to get your kids into. It's low impact. It's very high intensity.
Absolutely.
You know, you're out there for a time. You're not going to tear yourself up doing this. You're going to feel good when you practice doing this.
And you feel good when you finish.
When you're finished. Too.
Yeah.
Plus, there's a sport, but plus cool people like us are doing it.
Exactly.
So, you know, we're all out there. And listen to Motivation and Muscle podcast, too,
Yes.
with the host Eric
Eric
Fiorillo.
Fiorillo, yep.
Yep, because, you know, everybody's got some good stuff to offer and keep you guys moving, and, you know, that's what we want to do.
Absolutely. You know, listen, the help is out there if you're willing to just go find it. You know, but if you're just staying in your own little bubble and you refuse to take input from anybody else, then you'll stay stuck there and don't really ever grow. But if you're open to getting input from others, you're going to learn some fantastic things about movement, about yourself, about your body, about how to be better and how to be stronger and how to just enjoy life in general. So,
Yeah.
go for it.
That's it. Try to get the most out of life. Well, is that all we got time for
Yeah,
today?
I think that's all we got time for today, you know. This was the old guys coming at you trying to tell you some things about, you know, living longer.
The old guys talking training.
Talking training.
Here we are. So we'll see you guys on the next episode. Send in questions.
Yes,
Ask
please.
us to do a show on the topics that we're doing. We're usually predominantly about Mason Club training because we changed our fitness. But we add in other things too. So ask us about anything you want to find
Absolutely.
out about. And like we said, you know, we'll see you on the platform.
Alrighty. Don't forget, call, ask questions. Mace clubs and anything unconventional that you want to do, we got you covered. Conventional stuff too, by the way.
Yeah,
You know, you name it. Alright? That's it.
that's it.
That's it.
Say goodbye to the nice people.
Alright, goodbye, nice
Goodbye, nice
people.
people. Peace. So I